Huzzah and well met to all of my bannermen and ladies. And I want to thank you for your patience as I was not able to upload last week. This video is going to be short as I am still very busy at work and will need to be leaving the desktop behind in a little while today. So let's get right down to it. And what we're talking about today are item filters or item sorters. I guess a group of these would be the ones that you sort with, but each of these is an individual filter. And they all work mostly the same way. We have a comparator checking our hopper here, and you will either have perhaps a water stream that flows across all the tops of the hoppers, and your items, if they're able to, will fall into the hopper. So if you send emeralds down the water stream, they will fall into this hopper. And our comparator will look. And when this is full enough for the comparator to send its signal through, it will depower this torch, which will unlock this hopper. Now, this hopper is currently locked, meaning none of these items can fall down into this next hopper and then move on into the chest. These are all adjustable, and I will show you how to do that soon. So the different shapes are really just for what's convenient for you and what you have available. So our circuit is that we have our comparator looking in the hopper, and it gets enough signal, it will power this block, which will power this redstone dust, and which will pass through here because we used glass here, power this target block, and depower the torch. And as we talked about, that will unlock the hopper and allow an item to fall through until the signal is too weak to keep this torch depowered. With a hopper, it takes from the leftmost slot that has items in it. So, as we place items in there, need a few more, it looks like. Oh, where'd they go? There they are. Alright, so as we place more items in here, you saw down here, this torch depowered, and our emeralds are moving through. Now, it's not strictly required that you rename these hopper stopper. You can name them whatever you want. You just have to be sure that the items you use are not going to be moving through perhaps your water stream or a hopper line that's supplying each of these. So we rename these, or I've renamed these because I think it's clever, and we would be careful not to ever send any other hopper stoppers down the line, because then they would fall into this hopper and they'd throw off the balancing act that turns the torch on and off to allow this to work. So as I said, these all do or accomplish the same thing. They're all adjusted a little bit. The more of these you have stacked up, the fewer of your filterable item you're going to need. So as I drop another hopper stopper into each one of these, you'll see that another emerald is allowed to move through. So this is true for all of them. One major drawback on this model is that if you want to have your hoppers working their way down more, then you're going to have a hopper locked off at all times because of this. So items will get caught in this hopper and in this hopper. You'll see there's one here. That is almost always going to be the case, because when this torch flicks back on, it usually catches the last one in the hopper. This hopper will be fine. This one will also be locked by this torch because of the way the torch powers directionally. So just keep that in mind. But otherwise, these are all adjustable, and they all have the same program. So here we see our comparator is looking into the hopper, and I showed you as we're adding more stoppers here. So you can fine tune these so that just as many of your filterable item is there as you need or don't need. But our power comes through, follows this redstone dust, follows it again. We use glass here so the redstone dust can pass through this corner. If we use a solid block here, we would cut off our wire. Powers our blue concrete, powering our torch. So our locked chest here, this chest is also locked because this torch is going to be powering this block as well. And power that will be soft powering this hopper. So you're going to end up with 2 extra items in these hoppers waiting to pass through to the chest. So if you're trying to filter out something highly valuable like diamonds, then you're going to want to adjust as carefully as possible because you're not just going to have 21, 2, 3 diamonds to use specifically just to keep your hopper line correctly tuned. And finally, we have this one. This is essentially the same circuit, except instead of this concrete block on top, we're powering through redstone dust, which means we need a more full hopper. See, this one takes nearly a complete stack with only the single hopper stoppers in here. And the more we put in there, the fewer emeralds it's going to take to activate the circuit. But otherwise, this is doing the very same job. Having the longer redstone dust line means that the adjustments need to be made um, for more power to go through. So the hopper will need to be fuller for the comparator to get the amount of signal it needs to push this through, powering our concrete block and depowering our torch here. Same program. We're going to have an emerald in each of these hoppers before they move on to the chest. Now, these are all going to be very foundational to a lot of the videos that are coming up. So we do need to know this kind of thing, especially if you're going to be working with iron golems. And we do have a few different sorting systems to talk about. And I appreciate all your comments and likes and your patience with me, like I said. I hope that you're all blessed on your next quest, and I'm off to my next adventure.